today we will go over questions from 2.09 quiz, problem solving with inequalities. The link to the Nearpod is in the chat. Let's go ahead and join. Remember, this session will be recorded in case somebody is absent or would want to review the lesson again. Remember, link to the Nearpod is in the chat. Let's go ahead and join. Here we have the very first question. And the question reads, so Noel has set a goal to run more than 50 miles this month. That means this is how I can say more than 50 miles. This is the goal. So far, she has run 10 miles. Let's see. So far, she has run 10 miles. Her average running speed is 5 miles per hour. That's her average speed, right? Let H represent the number of hours Noel runs for the rest of the month. To meet her goal, Noel must run more than dash hours for the rest of the month. I'm waiting to see how you will write the inequality. I do see Angelina, Bella, Ayani, you guys in the Nearpod, and you have started with the inequality. Remember, you can definitely use some math thinking to get to the answer, but the goal is to see if we can change that math thinking to an algebraic thinking, that simple math thinking to more of algebraic thinking. I want you guys to write down the left side of the inequality and decide which one will be the constant and which one will be the coefficient. Very good, Angelina. Very good. Angelina says, because it says 5 miles per hour, the word per here tells us that 5 is the coefficient and will have the variable 5h. Very good, Angelina. So I can say 5h. This is her speed. And she already ran 10 miles, so I can say 5h plus 10. And the total number of miles has to be more than 50. This is how you can set it up. Let me know if anybody was confused about how to write the inequality. If you just joined the session, link to Nearpod is in the chat, people. If you click the link and join, it would be great. I'll see your work and give you some feedback. I haven't added extra credits for those who have been attending math building blocks. Very few people have been requesting. I have seen your grades look really good once you're attending building blocks. Your grade for the quizzes already look pretty much perfect scores, and that is a good thing. Okay, go ahead. We will solve it. I'm going to divide it into 2 equal sections. So what I do to one side, I will also do to the other, so I can keep the balance. In this one, I will get rid of my constant. Constant says plus 10. To undo that, I will take away 10 from both sides. And then let's see how the inequality looks like. So on the left side, the plus 10 and the minus 10 cancels off and becomes a 0. Then you are left with 5h. And you have the greater than symbol. And 50 minus 10 is 40. You want to get h by itself, so you'll divide both sides by 5. And that will give you the value of h. So 5h divided by 5 gives you 1h. I will just say h. And that is greater than 40 divided by 5, that is 8. So 8 represents the number of hours. So if you will answer this problem in the sentence, that's how the quiz looked like. You had to put in a number over here. I would probably say 8, right? To meet her goal, Noelle must run more than 8 hours the rest of the month. Can someone hop on the mic and talk about why I didn't flip the inequality symbol when I solved it? You can raise your hand. For 2, go ahead.
The reason why you wouldn't flip it is because the coefficient is
Yes?
not it's not a negative number.
Very good. Very good. Excellent. So we will write down for ourselves so we can remember over here. So I can say, do not flip the inequality symbol. Why? Because coefficient, that in this case is 5, is not negative, right? The coefficient 5 is not negative, so we really do not have to flip it. And here is that coefficient part. This is coefficient. It is positive. Whenever it is positive, you do not have to flip the symbol, right? It will stay greater than. Any questions? Let's go ahead, look at the second one and see how we can work that one out. Joshua's goal is to sell more than 20 items at a farmer's market. So let's go ahead, take some notes. So goal is to sell more than 20 items. So I will say, this is how I will say more than 20 items. So far, he has sold 6 items. He has sold 6 items so far. Then each customer buys 2 items. Another important piece of information, each customer buys 2 items. Let C represent the number of additional customers Joshua must have to meet his goal. How many more customers does Joshua need, right? So go ahead, set up the inequality, see where the variable goes, try to finish up the left side. Victoria, very good. Victoria, if your mic works, you will inform me how did you identify where the variable goes. Victoria, does your mic work? It doesn't work. Angelina, how did you figure out where the variable C goes? Which number?
Because it says each customer buys 2 items. So it's just basically saying each customer that came to the store bought 2 items. And C represents the number of additional customers.
Excellent. So because each customer buys 2 items, you can represent it like 2C. And he already sold 6 items, so I can say plus 6. That is my constant, plus 6. And the total number that he sells has to be more than 20, greater than 20. So, math has its own language. All this is written in English like in sentences. Joshua's goal is to sell more than 20 items, and he has sold 6. Each customer buys 2. All this, see, in the math sentence, this is how it will look like. 2C plus 6 is greater than 20. This is a math sentence, actually, right? So this is how we can express it. Once you have the inequality, we can go ahead and solve it. People, go ahead, get started, and solve this on your own. I'm going to verify if you're solving it correctly or not. London, I know you need help with maybe yesterday's quiz. That was 2.08, that had to do with fractions and decimals. I had recorded the session, so if you'll go to yesterday's recording, you probably will get to it. We solved each and every problem. I can also definitely share with you the link to those tutorial videos. Once we get done with 2.09 quiz, we can also look at 2.08 quiz once again. But if for right now you really need it, you can go to the class recordings from yesterday. We have those there. Ben, very good, excellent. Victoria, very good, excellent. And I really appreciate how you guys are using the inequality symbol. Angelina, very good. And I see Bella, work it out. Bella, 2C, okay, there we go. I read that correctly now. Very good for 2. Step 1, get rid of the constant. That is plus 6. So to undo a plus 6, I will subtract 6 from both sides. Remember what we do to one side, we have to do to the other side. So let's see, after subtracting 6, how does the inequality look like? Plus 6 minus 6 is a 0. Then you're left with 2c is greater than 20 minus 6, that is 14. To get c by itself, you want to divide both sides by 2. You'll divide both sides by 2. And 2c divided by 2 gives you 1c, or we just tend to write down c, has to be greater than 14 divided by 2, that is 7. Therefore, Joshua still has to have more than 7 additional customers to meet his goal. And we will also fill in the blank. People that you did, yes, I see Victoria. Then fill in the blank. This is on your quiz, a fill in the blank kind of a question. So Joshua will need more than 7. Very good for 2. Also typing out all those notes, step 1, step 2, and step 3. Excellent. Okay, so it will be more than 7 customers. Very good, Ben. Excellent. Okay. Everybody doing well? Here is the link to the Nearpod, just in case somebody else also wants to join in. Let's go ahead and move on. With practice, you will get more and more fluent. London, yeah, question 4. I'm going to go ahead and share with you the link. People, go ahead, read this question, see how to solve it. I'm going to go help London, and I'm going to share with her the precise video link to question 4, because that's what we did yesterday, London, in great depth. You'll see, you'll find it very helpful. Okay, let's see. If you didn't know, I am also sharing these links with you in your math gradebook. If you go to the gradebook, you see all these tutorial video links. Have you guys seen that? If you go to your gradebook, I have linked all these tutorial videos there in case they're just even more handy. So London, you'll check this out. You'll see question 4 solved there. Okay, let me see how the inequality looks like. Very good, Angelina. Victoria, very good. But 2, I'm waiting to see yours. Bella, a little thing to consider here will be, let's see here. This symbol will look different. It says Starlin's goal is to spend less than 415. Less starts with the letter L. The symbol will look like L, a little more slant, Bella. So if the goal is to spend less than $415, I will put a less than symbol and I'll say 415. It is important to be financially smart and to stay within budget. So this person is trying to stay within budget, will not spend more than 415, will spend only less than 415. So far, he spent 25 on gas for his car. So far, he spent $25 on gas. He will spend $100 each day. $100 each day on other expenses. So let D represent the number of days for Stalin's trip. Victoria, there's a little feedback for you. Very good, Angelina, Bella. All these equations look good. And for Ben, I'm gonna go ahead and check if I agree to it. Ben, I have a different answer, but let's work it out and see how that goes. So number one, they're saying Starlin will spend $100 each day. So I will say 100 D. 100 D because it has the word each. You see, he spends 100 each day. The word each tells me where the variable will go. He spent 25 already. So I will say plus 25. Plus 25 because this is the total spending. He spent 25 on gas already and then he'll spend $100 a day. There you go, Victoria. Very good. So, are there any questions with how I set up the inequality? You got the symbol right, but I got a different answer. For some reason. Let's check it out. How and why is that happening then? I'm gonna have to solve this to see. In my answer key, I had a different answer. Okay, first we want to get rid of the constant. It right now says plus 25. To undo plus 25, we gotta subtract 25 from both sides. And let's subtract 25. And how does that look like after subtracting? So plus 25 and minus 25 is 0 and you have 100D. Yeah, Ben, I see. Okay, you have a decimal there. Okay, that makes sense. Perfect, Ben. So 100D has to be less than 390. To get D by itself, you will divide both sides by 100. And dividing by 100, I will show you, I will not really divide. There's a strategy we guys use. And that gives you the answer pretty fast. And you divide your right side also by 100. And 100D divided by 100 gives you 1D, or I can say just D. And that will be less than, the decimal is right here. When I divide by 100, because 100's got 2 zeros, I actually move 2 places to the left, 1 and 2. That's where the new decimal goes. So I get D should be less than 3.9 days. Right? I'm not sure how the quiz answers this, or they put in just a 4, less than 4, or 3.9, but check that out. So I would say D should be less than 3.9. Okay, you said 4, Ben, over here. So Stalin's trip must last fewer than 4 days. Yeah. Yep. That's what I can also say. It should last fewer than 4 days. Okay. Are you ready to move on to the next question? Yes. Fill in the blank question. It is a fill in the blank. So you can say less than 4 days. This is what my answer key was saying. At first, I didn't even see a decimal. I'm like, 39 seems to be a very big answer. But then I saw that decimal and I was like, okay, 3.9, yes. So we have an inequality. It says negative 6x plus 8 has to be less than negative 40. We want to solve it and graph it. Go ahead, get started. This is how most of the time the assessments will assess you on this topic. You probably see how the assessment looks like from today, right? The TFAR, the TFAR from you today had all these questions, right? Two-step equations and inequalities. Go ahead, get started. I will write down some notes so that we can always reinforce our notes. Let's see how you guys are doing. Angelina, very good. Here we've got Victoria, very good. So our constant here is 8 plus 8 is the constant. And to undo a plus 8, you should subtract 8 from both sides. Let's go and subtract 8 from both sides. After subtracting 8, let's see how it looks like. Plus 8 minus 8 is a 0, and I have negative 6x. That has to be less than negative 40. What about the coefficient this time? The 2, very good. Angelina, very good, excellent. Okay, let me see. I didn't even subtract 40 minus 8. Negative 40 minus 8 is negative 48. I just copied the number without even subtracting the 8. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, Angelina, very good with that. I do see you took care of the sign. Very good with that. Victoria, you still have to divide. 48 divided by 6, right? And Bella, negative 40 minus 8 will be negative 48. And then let's see how it looks like from here. The coefficient, people, in this problem is negative 6. Coefficient is negative 6. Because it is a negative number, you will flip your symbol. Absolutely, you will have to flip the symbol. So I will divide both sides by negative 6. Negative 6x divided by negative 6 is 1x, or I can say x has to be, I flip the symbol, greater than. Negative number divided by another negative number is a positive number, and the answer will be 8. 6 8 times gives you 48. So the answer is x has to be greater than 8. How will you plot it on the graph? How will you plot it on the number line? Ben, see how I'm reading it, Ben. And another thing, Ben, there's a little conflict. Look at this arrow in the inequality. It is pointing to the right side. Look at your graph. And then when you graphed it something like this, Ben, a little feedback for you, Ben. You did this, and then your arrow looks this. Your arrow pointing to the left. But the inequality arrow is pointing to the right. Ben, this is a little feedback for you. Okay? I hope that makes sense. If you are listening, x has to be greater than 8. Angelina, Greater means Bella. Victoria. Victoria's slide I agree to the most. Why? This is her slide. The dot has to be open, right, Fatu? The dot has to be open. That means not shaded in. Okay, I see Angelina's dot is open here. See, dot has to be open and you point to the right. Very good, excellent. And see how everybody's trying to take some good notes, and that gives us some more systematic. Let me check for Bella. Bella, I don't see a dot in yours. Make sure there is a dot because the assessment will be very clear. They would want to see a dot. Let's see, there's one slide that I haven't unshared yet. There we go. So on 8, there will be a dot, but I will not shade it in because 8 is not the answer, but everything greater than 8 is the answer, right? So if you find this thing a little challenging to remember, take notes so that you can remember for later. There you go, Ben. I agree to that. Bella, make sure the dot looks empty, not shaded in. This is how the assessments want to test us. They will test us on small things. Remember, by the end of the year that you have learned so many different topics, you will tend to forget it. So it is a good idea that you have notes over it somewhere in your notebook and write down some points with that so you remember. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this one. Another very similar inequality. Go ahead, get started and solve this. In the meanwhile, I'm going to be writing down some notes so that my people who are watching the video, they are clear about what to do and when. So we will identify the constant, we will identify our coefficient, and we will also decide if we have to flip or not. Very good, Angelina. Very good for two getting started. Excellent. So in this one, my constant is the first thing that I do. Constant says that we are adding 10. To undo this adding 10, I will subtract 10 from both sides. I hope we remember how to subtract 10 because here we will have some integer rules going on. We have negative 25 minus 10. So a negative 25 minus 10, you owe. Negative 25 means you are owing to the bank. Negative 10 means not making a good financial decision and go and spend 10 more, that now you owe the bank 35. That is what it means. If you do negative 25 minus 10, you end up getting negative 35. Here is the inequality symbol. A plus 10 and a minus 10 is a 0. Then on the left side, we just have negative 5m. Right? Then that was very quick. Let me go ahead and see, verify your answer. Very good, Ben. I agree to it. To get m by itself, I will get rid of the coefficient. In this case, coefficient, negative 5. So I'm going to go ahead, write down negative 5. Oh, it is negative. That tells me to flip the symbol. Divide both sides by negative 5. And I'm going to look at your graph. Bella, make sure you show me the circle. I'm going to see if it's shaded in or it's an empty circle. It's an open circle. So once you divide negative 5m by negative 5, you get m by itself. I remember to flip my symbol. And a negative divided by negative is positive. 35 divided by 5 is 7. The answer has to be less than 7. Okay? No problem, Emiliano. That happens. I think I checked your work and you already finished this quiz. I'm going to wait for you guys to show me the graph. If you want to join Emiliano and practice this part, this is one that a lot of students tend to forget. It will be a good idea. I'm going to share with you the link to this Nearpod. It's a good idea to practice. You've got the answer. You only have to show me the graph. There you are. So far, I agree to Ben's graph, and I don't see a graph from Angelina. And for 2, Bella, I agree to your graph. Now, because I opened your slide big, I saw there was a dot, and it was not shaded in. It was open. Absolutely. So I'm going to go to 7. I'm going to put a dot that I will not shade in because it is not equal to 7. It says m has to be less than 7, so do not shade it in. 7 is not included, but everything less is included, right? All these numbers can be the solution. Very good, Fatu. Your graph is so precise. Very good, Angelina. Any questions? No questions? Let's go ahead and move on. And here we are. Let's go ahead, solve this one. I'm going to go ahead, prepare my slide. And I'm going to give you guys feedback in the meanwhile. If there are any questions, do not hesitate to hop on the mic and ask us. If you're late, that is perfectly fine. Remember, this is not a required class. It is completely optional, but I encourage you to attend. You get a lot of homework help, and then it saves your parents from helping you on these individual questions, right? They're already busy doing a lot of things for you already. So if you attend the session, it's going to help you, and it's going to save their time. Okay, so we also write down some notes that will guide us as we solve the question. Number 1 step, identify and solve for constant. Step 2, identify and solve for coefficient. Step 3, decide if we have to flip the inequality symbol or no. Let me see, Angelina, very good. Bella, very good, excellent. Ben, excellent. The 2, very good. So I'm going to go ahead, mark my constant. Constant here is a +3. To undo a +3, I will subtract 3 from both sides. And after subtracting 3 from both sides, let's see how the inequality looks like. On the right side, the +3 minus 3 becomes 0, and you are left with -7p. Should be less than -63. Because we have -60, not a good situation with our bank accounts. -3, we go out and spend even more. We owe the bank more. We owe 63. To get p by itself, you want to get rid of this coefficient. The coefficient in this problem is -7. A negative coefficient tells you we gotta flip the inequality symbol. I divide both sides by -7. Let me give you guys feedback. Very good, Bella. I was reading it so incorrectly in the first place, Bella, for the symbol, but I agree to your answer. And I also agree to your graph. Angelina, very good. I agree to your graph and your answer. Ben, I am waiting to see your answer. And for 2, I'm waiting to see your answer. So here, when we solve this, Negative 7p divided by negative 7 gives us p by itself. I will flip the inequality symbol. It is less than. It becomes greater than. Negative number, negative 63 divided by negative 7 is a positive number. 63 divided by 7 is 9. So p's got to be greater than 9. So here we have 9. I will draw a circle, but I will not shade in because 9 is not included. Only numbers greater than 9 are included. So anything that is greater than 9, we can show like this. Do not color in the circle. Thank you for sharing the link, Ben. Any questions? That makes sense to you guys? Yes? Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to question 3. So question 3 probably more easier, more simple. See, they guide you. They've given you the 4 inequalities to choose from. Let's go ahead and read the question and see how it looks like. This question says, the owner of a new restaurant wants to have seating for more than 68 people. If I look at the symbols, all of them here show more than, right? Because more than is simply more than 68. Look at the answer choices. They're all good, right? Didn't confuse you with the symbol at all. They were nice. The item creator has been nice. They all give you some greater than symbols. There is currently a private chef's table that seats 2 people. So I know the chef takes up 2 seats, right? The owner plans to buy M tables that each seat 4 people. He'll buy M tables that will each seat 4 people, right? See where the variable will go. In this one, they have very much guided you. The variable and the number is pretty close. Very good, Ben. I agree to you. Very good, Bella. I agree to you. Excellent. For 2, I agree to you. Very good. So, for 2, can you hop on the mic and explain me how you got to the answer?
Okay, so first off, B isn't right, although it does have the greater than 68, but
Mm-hmm.
you don't do M plus 4 in parentheses at all. That's how I knew to take out B and C because they're both inside parentheses. And then for D, it wouldn't be 2M because uh, that's talking about a different kind of seat for different people, and then it's not. It only seats 2 people at one table,
Mm-hmm.
so that's why it would go. It wouldn't be the coefficient. 2 would not be the coefficient. That's why 4
2,
would be it.
2 is not the coefficient. There's a buzzword here in the question that tells you which is coefficient, right?
Each.
Each.
Yeah.
Very good. Here, you see the word each is with 4. So I know it was supposed to be 4M. Very good, Fitu. Excellent. Very good. Ben, I agree to you. Nija, very good. Bella, excellent. Fitu, very good. Thank you for sharing. Angelina, excellent. Let's go ahead and look at one more. If you haven't joined Nearpod yet, please go ahead join Nearpod so you can participate and teach the class these questions. Remember, there's some people, there are around 30 of us who watch these recordings. There are these many views, around 30. As I publish it, the very next day when I publish the next video, I go in and see there are around 30 people watching it. So they'll have fun if they'll hear from you. Okay, let's go ahead and read this question. It says a movie theater allows fewer than 80 people at a screening. So fewer, less than 80 total people. And none of the answer choices are trying to confuse us with that. Then 8 employees will attend the next screening along with n groups of people. There is this fixed number of employees. There are 8 such employees who will attend along with the other audience. Then they're also talking about each group will have 4 people. Go ahead, see which inequality best describes this scenario. Remember, inequality is a math sentence. At this time, you have written in English, like in sentences, and inequality is a math way to say it. Ben, I agree to you. Very good. Fatu, I agree to you. Very good. I'm waiting for Angelina to finish. Angelina, I agree to you. Very good. Emiliano, very good. Do you want to hop on the mic and walk us through this question, Emiliano? Go ahead. It will build you some confidence.
Do I just explain the correct answer or the wrong answers, and why are they wrong?
As you wish.
Okay. It can't. It cannot be B because you're adding one group and the 8 employees plus other groups, but they don't have a number in it, so we can't just say and. Oh no, I forgot.
You're heading in the right direction, Ben. Absolutely. Very good.
It can't be C also because it's saying groups plus the 8 employees, and whatever you're having is multiplying by 4. So it can't be C. D is basically the same thing as B, but with a negative minus. So it only leaves A.
Emiliano, can you tell me why A looks good and how does that match with the scenario that is given to us? There's some keywords in the question that you can talk about.
Like why? Why is it the correct?
Like, can you talk about a keyword that you see in the question that tells you where the 4
Each.
goes?
Each.
Yeah? So it
It's
tells you very.
saying multiplying by 4.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Tells you 4n because the word each is with 4. Very good. And the total audience that can be in that theater will be less than 80. Very good. So plus 8 employees. Very good, Emiliano. You did a great job. Let's go ahead, look at the next question. Kaylon, join the Nearpod. Link to the Nearpod has been posted several times in the chat for you to join, right? Okay, you are doing it. You're doing the quiz. So here we go with this next one. We will read the question together and see how to work it out. In this one, it says, members of a community center are planning a field trip to the zoo. More than 50 people will go to the trip. All the answer choices do say more than. Then they say 10 people are providing their own transportation, right? The rest of the people will ride in K vans. There will be groups of people, and each van can carry 5 people. Go ahead, see which inequality best translates the scenario. Ben, excellent. And after you answer it, you can also raise your hand to inform us that you can teach the class how to do this one. Ayani, I want to see some responses from you. Let's see. Emiliano, I agree to you. And let's see, Pachu, I agree to you. Bella, I agree to you. Angelina, I agree to you. Very good with that. Kalan, I see you in your part. Slide doesn't look active. Ben, go ahead. Patu, you will be next.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So this is more than 50. So we're gonna have less than sign with right next to the 50. And then it says 10 people are providing their own transportation. So we put plus 10. And that already shows that we have the right answer. We already have our answer.
Oh, that is so true. Just knowing that, it gives you the right answer as D. Patu, you are next. How would you explain this?
So I would automatically realize that it's not A or B because it says 15 and none of the numbers in the word problem are 15. Okay, and then with C, it's not going to be that because each is with 5 and not with 10. So it'd be D. 5K
Great.
plus 10 is greater than 50.
Excellent. So 5x, because the word each. Or in this one, they say 5K. Excellent. Very good. Very good. Let's go ahead and see question 4. Okay, very interesting. Question 4 is another word problem question, and they want to answer in terms of a sentence. Let's see how we can handle this one. We will read it together, and then I'm going to give you some time to come up with the inequality. Marisol is preparing a care package to send to her brother. The package will include a board game that weighs 4 pounds. And we will also be highlighting the game weighs 4 pounds. And several 1/4 pound snack packs. Then there are several snack packs. And the snack packs weigh 1/4 pound, right? The total weight of the care package must be less than 25 pounds. People, go ahead, write an inequality for that. Ben, I agree to that. Very good. What about others? I am waiting to see. There are definitely some hints I can provide you with. The total has to be less than 25 pounds. I want to see how you will come up with the inequality. Yes, Emiliano, excellent. Very good, very good. Ben, I agree to your answer. Very good with that. JJ's slide needs to be active. Kaylon, Neja, Victoria, Riani. I know you guys like to socialize, but it is also important that you are learning. Jason, it will be a great idea to join your pod so that I can see your work and give you feedback. Okay, they're talking about snack, and they were pretty smart to not very clearly say that, but they say about the snack that there are several 1/4 pound snack packs. So kind of tells you that each pack is that 1/4. So if I'm writing the um, inequality, I can also say, like you guys know, 1/4 is 0.25. If you want, you can also say 0.25 if that makes more sense to you. If 1/4 makes more sense, you can also do that. Either ways, it will be marked correct. Very good, Bella. Excellent. So I'll just use a decimal 0.25 x plus 4 should be less than 25. You will have to solve the inequality to get to the answer. Only then you can pick one of the correct statements. Go ahead, people, solve the inequality and see how much you get. No problem, JJ, but I want to receive some answers from you over here in the chat, and that is acceptable to us. So make sure you are sharing some answers. You're also raising your hand, and I'm explaining to the class how to solve some problems, and it will be, more productive. Okay, so if you are solving, you get rid of the constant first. In this question, constant is plus 4. To get rid of that, you will subtract 4 from both sides. After subtracting the 4 from both sides, let's see how the equation looks like. Plus 4 minus 4 gives you 0, and then you have 0.25x. And that will be less than 21. To get x by itself, you will divide both sides by 0.25. But you got an answer? Yes, there we go. There are a lot of people who can handle the 0.25 or the 1/4 mental math calculations. But if that is not the case, you definitely can handle it the way it works best for you. 0.25. And because we are not going to flip the symbol stays as it, less than. Here we have x. 21 divided by a quarter, or how many quarters can go into 21? 84 quarters can go into 21. So it's supposed to be less than 84. There is no A, B, C, D, but I can just mark it like this. Any questions? That's understandable? Yes. Very good, Angelina. Excellent. Very good, Bella. Excellent. JJ seems like Nearpod is active at this time. Very good, Fatu. Excellent. I got you. Let's go ahead and move on to another question for question 4. This will be the last question for today. On Friday, we will do one more part of question 4 and 3 other parts of question 5. And the rest of the time will be ours. You guys can also plan something to do tomorrow during math building blocks. It could be fun because we'll finish a little early with the quiz questions. If you have questions from other quizzes, it will be a good time to bring them in tomorrow. So let's look at this next question. It says, so Dennis has less than 70 minutes to spend on some homework questions. Less than 70 minutes. That's how you can say less than. It has to look like L, less than 70 minutes total, right? To spend on homework. He spent 10 minutes on the first two questions. He spent 10 minutes on the first two questions. The rest of the questions will take 5/2 minutes each. Which statement describes the solution to this inequality? You will write the inequality and then solve it. Then people, we can also make this a little easy for us. 5/2 also means 2.5. How did I get that? How did I get that? Because in my brain, 5/2 means 5 divided by 2. Remember, fraction bar represents division. So when I divide 5 by 2, you get 2.5. And that can make your problem a little more easier. Go ahead, get started. But you're very good. I see how you use color coding very smartly. And let me see. Angelina, less than 70 minutes. Do you think you used the correct symbol? Then I will have to go ahead and check your work. I agree to you, Ben. Very good. Excellent. Angelina, there you go. Excellent, Angelina. I agree to your inequality symbol. Bella, I agree to how you have started writing the inequality. Angelina, I don't see a variable in the inequality yet. The variable is missing. But you, I agree to your inequality, except that I don't want to see equal sign, right? It is inequality. You can't have equal sign for two, right? So that is one little feedback for you. Let's go ahead and see how I can express this. So 5/2, that I say 2.5, I can say 2.5x. Why did I say 2.5x? I see the word each. That tells me that the variable goes with 2.5. And then he spends 10. He already spent the 10 minutes on two questions, plus 10. Altogether, he'll spend less than 70 minutes. So he spent 10 minutes, that's constant. Those fixed 10 minutes on those two questions, you'll spend 2.5 minutes on each of the other questions. To solve this, we will first get rid of the constant. And the question constant is plus 10. To undo a plus 10, you will subtract 10 from both sides. Let's see after subtracting, how does that look like? So this becomes 0, and you have 2.5x is less than 60. You will go ahead and divide both sides by 2.5 to get x by itself. Divide both sides by 2.5. And definitely there will be a lot of math technique that will go into dividing 60 by 2.5. Let us know if you have a little hard time with that, and I'm going to go over in detail how to solve this. Does anybody need help with 60 divided by 2.5? And there's some mental math strategies that will also be helpful. Very good for you. Very good, Angelina. Very good, Bella. Excellent. So y'all end up getting the correct answer. 2.5x divided by 2.5 is x, or 1x, which has to be less than 24. And that answer is over here. Fewer than 24 questions. Let's mark it correct. Are there any questions? so far? Are there any questions so far? So some of you have heard me say that I do um, I do have links to the tutorial videos in the gradebook, right? When I say that, I mean I am linking these videos from the math building block into the gradebook. So in case you don't score a good grade, you can always go back to the recordings. If you do not know how to get to these video links, please email me and I will assist you.